In the beginning, there was only water. And then there appeared an island of dirt that hovered in the sky. The first people lived on this island, and they were the divine beings. A man once dug up a tree out of anger, and where the tree had been, there was now a hole looking down at the ocean world below. A pregnant woman fell through that hole, and as she fell, the birds of the sky decided to help her. They formed a pillow for her to sit on, and lowered her onto the back of a giant turtle, floating in the ocean below. A muskrat dove down and brought back some mud. She planted vegetables with it. She gave birth to 2 sons. One was good, and one was evil. And the shell of this giant turtle later became the world for the Iroquois First Nations people of North America. As a young boy, I often explored Grenadier Pond in Toronto with family. One day, my mother pointed out a hatching nest of snapping turtles. As we knelt down to watch, the brackish creatures breached the mud, zipping off below the clear waters like shadows. To a 5-year-old, it seemed as though the earth was giving birth, and to animals that appeared suitably organic, almost like seed cases. Many cultures saw things with a similar innocence, for some reason relating the turtle with the planet. As the turtle's autumn surroundings were imprinted on their memories, the creatures were imprinting themselves on me. In October of 2007, I departed from Vancouver to Indonesia with the idea of shooting a documentary. Learning to speak Bahasa Indonesia and working full-time teaching English, I struggled to make time for the point of the journey, to encounter the endangered ancient marine reptiles known as sea turtles. It was a suitably obscure island country in which to follow a story not many people know about: the gradual fade-out of a 230-million-year-old genus, sometimes called the world's last dinosaurs. Indonesia should be renowned for her biodiversity, with some of the world's deepest rainforests, frequent volcanic activity, torrential monsoon rains. This place is comparable only to the Amazon and the Congo. This is Salak Mountain, nearest to a city nicknamed Kota Hujan, or the City of Rain. Rivers slalom downhill from here, passing through the country's capital and down towards the ocean in the north. Most of the city's neighborhoods are unable to afford waste removal. And so Jakarta's rivers are sometimes clogged with trash, causing the streets to be flooded once a year. Scenes of poverty around the city radically shook my perspective. I couldn't help but wonder, why sea turtles? Many people found my fascination with the animals puzzling or even suspicious, but I decided to stick with it and see where it would take me. A country of 17,000 islands, only 6,000 of which are inhabited, connecting Asia to Australia, and with a population nearing 300 million, Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world. Cutting through the backyards of 25 million people on a journey from Bogor's mountains and through the cities of West Java, monsoon waters push out to sea at ports like Tanjung Priok with an accumulation of waste. Merchants here are still using the boats that Dutch colonialists ordered built over 60 years ago to draw goods and sometimes animals from other islands in the vast archipelago. Early morning on Sukamade Beach, the night shift ends and the diurnal animals leave the mangrove swamps and head to the seashore. Monkeys are just one of tens of predators who will wait patiently for a turtle's nest to hatch, or dig them up and snack on the turtle eggs. But it's not the monkeys that turtles should be worried about. This platter-like shell of a green sea turtle was left for dogs after locals poached and ate the animal's gelatinous flesh. Around 10,000 turtles are killed for illegal consumption each year in this country alone. Turtle meat is an illegal delicacy, which is not at all hard to come by, especially on the island of Bali, where police at one night canteen enjoy their meals free of charge. I went to Bali's Center for Turtle Conservation and spoke with owner Pak Geria to find out who is supplying Kuta with meat.
Ada juga beberapa kelompok masyarakat yang mendapatkan penyu dari jaringan gelap lah katakan ilegal, kemudian dia pelihara dengan kamuflase, itu semacam bisnis, semacam pelestarian, pada sesungguhnya itu malam harinya dipotong untuk kegiatan konsumsi dan sebagainya. Pelestarian merek itu. Tapi pelan-pelan masyarakat akan tahu bahwa itu tidak bagus karena memang dia tidak didukung oleh fasilitas edukasi, tidak didukung oleh pengetahuan untuk menjelaskan apa itu penyu, bagaimana sebagainya. Tidak, dia tahunya hanya penyu dikirim, dia terima, dia kumpulkan, dia stok gitu saja, dipamerkan untuk eksibisi dengan tidak ada penjelasan yang detail apa itu penyu dan biologi dan sebagainya. Kemudian malam harinya ya dipotong.
Depending on where in the world turtles come ashore, they will either be victimized or venerated, either poached or protected. Perhaps in the future they will arrive at this beach to be met with superhighways and frightened off by light pollution. Swimming the oceans for the past 230 million years, these marine dinosaurs are now facing extinction, mostly because of the recent emergence of the human species. What's more, as human populations sprawl, there are fewer and fewer places for turtles to carry out the tasks involved in their life cycles. The green sea turtle nests her eggs beneath the sands of 80 countries and swims through the waters of about 140 nations. After 2 months underground, 150 green sea turtles are ready to instinctively dig out of the darkness towards the light of the sun and the sound of the surf. Many hatchlings don't make it to the beckoning ocean. Weakened from digging, dazed by the sun, a common beach crab could easily take one as prey, as they probably will with this one. It's 6 in the morning on the island of Papua New Guinea, and from a womb of black sand, and after 4 to 7 days of straight digging, offspring of the critically endangered leatherback sea turtle are seeing the bright light of the stars. Extensive digging, clambering, falling, and climbing Let them stretch their muscles before they swim away. Both the most endangered and the largest of all sea turtles, leatherbacks can grow to weigh more than a ton, roughly 6,000 times their weight at birth. As their one and only favor, the tides of the Pacific are rising to meet these little leatherbacks. Once in the ocean, some turtles must survive for up to 35 years before maturing, when they will return to the beach where they were born to nest. Green sea turtles will swim thousands of kilometers, returning to the beach where they were born, rather than risking nesting at another location. But in the 35 years it takes some to mature, much may have changed above sea level. Heaving herself up the beach, she calculates the best spot for her eggs. Just above the high tide mark, she digs her nest and lays her eggs. This is a young mother hawksbill sea turtle, probably a first-time egg layer. She is critically endangered and is now finalizing the act of multiplying. As a young mother, she exhales in pain for the emergence of each egg from her body. Finally, she buries her eggs before dragging herself back into the Pacific. Though all sea turtles are somewhat gargantuan, none are as big as the one which carries a map of the stars on her shell of living, leathery tissue. Leatherbacks, also known as black turtles or penyu blimbing, can weigh as much as a small car. Seeing these gentle creatures is and will be an increasingly rare novelty. Impossible in most places, but not here, on Warmung Beach, on the island of Papua New Guinea. the largest remaining nesting grounds for these endangered dinosaurs in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. My destination: 4 days by boat, a 5-day wait in the city of Sorong, and a final 7 hours on a cigarette boat with 3 engines running simultaneously to get to my destination. Here, I accompanied a group of World Wildlife Fund employees and patrollers who are posted year-round in these true wilds. I found a clever way to run my equipment off of a motorcycle battery and used ordinary flashlights for lighting, and we were fortunate enough to see at least 6 of these critically endangered animals come ashore to lay. I wonder how many leatherbacks we would have seen 10 or 20 years prior in Warmung, before they were poached to near extinction, their numbers having decreased tenfold since 1940. To form up to 400 eggs takes a lot of calcium. Which is why a mother only lays up to 2 nests a year. Mother greens come away from giving birth drained and exhausted. The sea is her home, and her beach is rough terrain, a great risk but a necessity to be braved. The beach is her tool, a vital exterior compartment to her own womb. The earth now offers a comparatively young parent freedom to roam the ocean again, while her offspring develop for the next 2 months. These turtles were born and gave birth here, and it's rumored that some will come back to their home turf to die. After breaking the waves, they will be drawn out by the currents and undertows, personified by the locals as Ratu Laut Selatan, the murderous queen of the southern Indian Ocean. In 35 years, when the embryos within these eggs are full-grown animals, returning to East Java to nest, I wonder what this beach will have become. In the year 2043, will this new generation return to this beach to be poached or protected? Carried by the locals for protection, as well as for hunting, spears stick out of the black sands of Warmung Beach. These tools rest here, while the locals patrol through the night, monitoring the turtles and their nests. It's 2 in the morning, and a mother leatherback has come ashore. This one definitely outweighs a smart car, at least. They measure her from side to side, under 3 feet, and from front to back up to 6.5 feet. Before scanning her PIT chip, an implant beneath her skin. Later, the scan will reveal how this beautiful old mother got here. This one had done a U-turn off of the coast of Seattle. In some sense, we had made the same trip to meet here on Warmung Beach. Conservationists often take eggs literally right out from beneath the mothers, and the mother will continue to lay, willfully ignorant of the interfering hands of her protectors. "150 eggs, 150 potential sea turtles, are laid out in the sands for counting before being taken to the hatchery, where almost all of them will survive to be released when they're ready." Two long-tailed macaw play fight in a Hindu temple in Ubud, on the island of the gods, Bali. As with the cows of India, the monkeys of Bali are safe here, because they too are seen as religiously sacred creatures. To the Hindu majority, sea turtles are also sacred, but they are sacred in a way that requires them to be sacrificed, their shells pried open while they are still alive, to honor the deity Lord Vishnu. The Hindu religion is regal, communal, ancient, and in many ways it is praiseworthy. But as with many religions, I have some definite qualms with it.
Saya bernama Iwayan Gria ya, putra asli orang Serangan ya. Dan kemudian tempat ini saya rintis bersama dengan WWF, dengan pemerintah daerah, semata untuk secara bertahap menghilangkan perdagangan penyu di Bali.
Pak Iwan Gria's Turtle Center is a multifaceted operation. To the tourist, it seems like straightforward, kind-hearted conservation. Sick or injured turtles swim their lives away here, while relocated nests hatch, later to be released. But, unfortunately, like much in this developing country, things here are more dire and less black and white than the average tourist might suspect.
Sementara lembaga kita dalam ini yang real memakai penyu itu hanya adalah kegiatan simbolis, tidak harus besar, tidak harus mengambil di alam yang besar-besar. Di itulah dimaksudkan membuat lembaga ini agar ada aspek pelestariannya, di mana dari pelestarian itu menyelamatkan telur penyu, kemudian menetaskan dan membesarkan. Yang hasil pembesaran inilah sebagian kecil digunakan untuk sarana yajnya orang Bali. Itu sebenarnya maksudnya.
Pak Doria, as a dedicated Hindu, is a benevolent farmer as much as he is a conservationist. The future of the Turtle Center is closely tied to the future of sea turtles, and so is the continuation of the disagreeable Hindu religious rite.
Jadi harapan saya, hanya ini kita betul kegiatan ini dibangun dari masyarakat dengan tidak berorientasi ke profit ya, keuntungan semua. semata, dan juga dibangun dengan sumbang-sumbangan dari teman-teman yang peduli, OWF, LSM, lain sebagainya. Depan nanti kita bisa suguhkan kegiatan-kegiatan kita. Gitu.
Throughout my interview with Pak Duria, Hindu prayer could be heard coming from a temple nearby. Learning that some of these sea turtles, like these youthful olive ridleys, were destined only to be sacrificed at the temple in earshot, made the entire turtle center seem despairingly contradictory. But at the end of the day, there are more turtles in the ocean thanks to their efforts. Pak Duria's Turtle Center, attached to the island of Bali, deserves a visit. The animals are well kept and they house 4 of the 5 varieties of sea turtles found in Indonesia here. The Orang Warmung are a self-sufficient, sheltered people who can be seen mostly hunting, gathering, or surfing. Many locals here have never watched television or have even seen a car. When money was introduced to Papua in the 1960s, tribes assigned value to the notes based on their color rather than the numbers in print. They were hospitable and genuinely happy, but that was just my first impression. Returning to the spot where their hunting spears stick out of the sands, 3 locals have been patrolling since midnight, effectively spotting leatherbacks. This is their job, and they seem to enjoy it. Through donation, the World Wildlife Fund pays a few villagers to patrol Warmung. This morning, the patrollers have come upon an emptied nest. Fortunately, it had been opened from within sometime in the night. Walking the beaches from midnight until 6, the tired patrollers collected their spears and, myself in tow, we headed off trekking 10 kilometers back to their homes in Kampung Warmung. We took rest on the wooden floor of one of these homes. An earthquake had recently hit the village. Soon after I fell asleep, an elderly woman woke me up. This was the tribal leader. This was Mama. Mama's children were going without school because everything was destroyed. She told me if no one could help, she planned to evict the conservationists, because at least the poachers would bring her community some much-needed money. Mama pleaded that I would talk to the people with power, and get the message out. I would find help for her, or poachers would return to this place, desecrating the most important nesting ground in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. When I was a little boy, I saw snapping turtles hatching at Grenadier Pond in Toronto. Nearly 3 decades later, I experienced the same awe, holding my palm to the leathery shell of a 1-ton leatherback. I connected to what countless others have felt, a larger idea of time, a larger idea of space, and a small idea of peace that would surely become a myth if it weren't for people who are trying hard to make it stick in reality.